many times. From 2008 up until now, we've shifted and created 4 different websites, and we're about to launch a new website, a really robust platform, in about a couple of weeks from now. I quit Portal to Ascension probably like 5 times from 2008 to 2015, and it was like almost like this crying out to the gods or the ETs and saying like, I'm done with this. I'm just gonna be a normal person now. I'm gonna go to work. Just like I need to make some money. My parents don't like what I'm doing anyway. Just going through all those thoughts, and then finally around 2015 maybe, when I decided to go online, 100% online, because for a few years we went online only just to kind of see if I can make that into something. I just made an agreement with myself. I said, all right, if I'm gonna do it right now, I'm just gonna commit that I'm never gonna quit again. And so that's what I did in 2015. And ever since then, it's been growing, basically like a Netflix for consciousness. From 3,000 hours of presentations, it's gone to 10,000 hours. From 10 categories, it's gone to 5 main categories, which are evolution of consciousness, true world history, extraterrestrials and UFOs, that's one category, and I'll tell you why they're different in a second. And then we have health and wellness and conscious science. And each of those categories has another 20 categories underneath them. So evolution of consciousness, so many different things, sacred sexuality, and the list can go on. When it comes to UFOs and ETs, the UFOs are the nuts and bolts, government and all the other stuff, sightings, researchers. The extraterrestrial information, it becomes a spiritual awareness when it comes to it. So when you go to that category, you can even go even lower and lower into categories, all this content, but we're also able to fund hundreds of speakers and projects just because we're constantly paying out all these speakers 60 to 70% of all the proceeds so that they can continue their work. The reason why I got into Portal to Ascension in the first place is, well, firstly, it was like probably an intuitive way to heal the trauma of my childhood. It's probably why I did all this, but it was definitely also because I wanted to find the root of all religion. I wanted to find the root of everything. And I can just list so many off right now when it comes to for example, the Epic of Gilgamesh and Noah's flood, and how almost every ancient civilization in the world has a story of a flood and an individual that is probably the same exact individual. When it comes to the Battle of Troy and the Battle of Mahabharata, the Indian battle and the Greek battle is actually probably the exact same war that took place. And I would see so many similarities. Krishna and Jesus, the exact same life. Krishna had a virgin mother. He was a carpenter. He was known as a savior to his people. He basically there's 20 different things they all check. And we would have the Quran, the Bible, the Old Testament, the Sumerian scriptures, and we would be highlighting information and drawing comparisons and parallels. And so then my question became, well, if there are so many similarities, and just from a little bit of research, I'm already finding that there must be some sort of common origin of this, why are we all talking about our differences rather than what our similarities are? Because there's so much more in common. And that really is the foundational bottom line of Portal to Ascension, is basically, remember guys, we have much more in common than we have different from each other, and definitely much more in common than those who claim to control us. Right? They don't even probably shop at the same grocery stores. Research on the cycles of time, the 26,000 year cycle, the zodiac, the 13,000 years, and then another 13,000 years. And every great most civilizations in the world have some sort of informational story talking about the ages of mankind, in that we went to, different ages, the Bronze Age, the Silver Age, the Golden Age, the Dark Age. But there's only one civilization that actually gives dates, and that's the Vedic civilization from Mohenjo-daro. And within that, they also show that there was an evolution of consciousness at certain peaks, where the veils, so to speak, were thinner, that we had more of an ability to connect with ETs, see other frequencies. The 7 chakras within our body gives us the ability to tap into 7 dimensions of awareness within our physical body. And since we can do that, if we're at a stage of consciousness and enlightenment where we can cultivate that, then we're able to do all types of magical things. Your consciousness is that there are different brainwave states that you can be in. There's beta wave, there's alpha wave, there's theta, there's delta, there's gamma. what happens when you meditate is you're attempting to get to a theta state. A theta state is a waking state in which you're basically cultivating peace within yourself, and it's really the state where you can go in and do some actual inner work. So when you meditate and you attempt to breathe, for example, for like 10 minutes to get to that state, or if you're whatever technique that you may have in order to get to that state, what sound does, and what they've proven now through hooking people up to EEG machines, is when they play these sound frequencies, mostly specific sound tones, but almost really every ancient sound instrument, like the didgeridoo, like the Tibetan bowl or tuning fork, it actually gets you to a theta state within like 5 minutes or less sometimes. So what sound is, like Bashar says, is a permission slip to get to a state of consciousness faster than if you're doing it on your own. And it allows you to have that to get to the state of like relaxation or doing the inner work in a very fast manner. Plus, it's a frequency. We're all made out of subatomic atoms. This light shade in front of me is subatomic atoms. This bottle, the computer, yourself, we're all made of these vibrating frequencies that are even smaller than an electron. And everything that vibrates can affect your vibration. Not only are we playing the world like an instrument, but the world is playing us back. Have full disclosure in order to put everything on the table. I'm all for complete honesty, complete openness. How everybody's going to deal with it, a lot of people are going to go through a dark night of the soul. They're going to have to really like look at them and check in with themselves to see what this means for them. I don't feel that it needs to ultimately, like, we may have some challenges and some hardships before we get to this realm of light. We have a lot of traumas within ourselves. We have a lot to experience and a lot to get over, and have to come together as not only a human race, but also with the animals on the planet. Like, we disrespect everything, not all of us, but just in general, the way society is created. So we need to continue doing this healing, which is why Portal to Ascension, we're about ETs and UFOs, but what is the bottom line of everything we do? Is we basically inform and teach people on how they can heal themselves so that they can be the beings that are worthy of being the caretakers of the planet. And as the more and more we're able to do that, the more we're able to move into a reality where open contact occurs. Now we have the opportunity, we have the intellect, we have the know-how, we do have the education, and we have the tech, like the actual physical technology to create peace on earth and inform the masses of some truth. If we change the educational system, if we indoctrinated our youth with the right information and gave them freedom and didn't put people in these schools in order to get them ready for 9 to 5 and gave people more time in order to think for themselves and reflect on who they are on this planet, and rather than figure out how to be a more productive person of society, all of those things have been created. We know how we can create a world like that. Some places have already attempted it. So it's not like we're ignorant to that information. So we are ready because we already know how to create society in a way to make it that we can actually have open, peaceful contact. But it's not happening because these institutions are controlled by elite that do not have our best interest in mind. So I feel that it's going to happen eventually, whether it's going to happen while we're still in the process of healing, or whether they're going to wait for us to really have this, get over ourselves basically before they have open contact. That I don't know, but I'll just refer back to the Israeli space chief that said that the Galactic Federation, for example, he said is waiting for us to basically mature and grow up before they have open contact, because right now we're not at a state of consciousness that they really want to interact with us, because who knows how we're going to react, right? And we don't even have the sovereign power. A lot of people in the countries do not have the sovereign power to come up with agreements and arrangements with extraterrestrials if they were to come and land right now. It would be our governments, and most governments in the world are corrupt, right? So it's like, to answer your question, it's not really answerable. I do feel that it's going to happen no matter what, but how it's going to happen, if we're ready for it and all that, that's going to be up to the individual, which is why I feel there's going to be open contact and interaction with small groups of people before there's open contact worldwide.